Red Door Shield. Secure everything.
I want to talk to you about a number, $200,000. That is the average cost of a cybersecurity breach for a small business. Not a Fortune 500 company, a small business. A business your size. And that number does not include what happens after. It does not include the clients who leave, the reputation that takes years to rebuild, the employees who lose confidence in the company they work for. 60% of small businesses that experience a major breach close within 6 months. Not because they did not care, because they did not know what a breach actually costs until it cost them everything. That is what this video is about. When most people hear $200,000, they think that is the ransom. Sometimes it is. But the ransom is usually the smallest part of the total cost. The real damage comes from everything that happens around the breach, and it adds up faster than most business owners expect. Let me walk you through what that actually looks like. The moment a breach is discovered, the clock starts. You need forensic investigators to figure out what happened, how they got in, and what they took. You need IT professionals to contain the damage, rebuild your systems, and restore your data. If you have backups, recovery takes days. If you do not, it can take weeks. During every one of those days, your business may be partially or completely offline. For most small businesses, that means no invoicing, no client communication, no new work coming in. The recovery cost alone commonly runs between $20,000 and $50,000 for a small business. If client data was exposed in the breach, you have legal obligations. You are required to notify affected individuals. In many industries, you are required to notify regulators. If you are subject to HIPAA, CMMC, or financial data regulations, a breach triggers an investigation. Legal fees for breach response commonly run $10,000 to $50,000. Regulatory fines can go significantly higher depending on your industry and the scope of what was exposed. And if a client sues because their data was compromised, you are looking at litigation costs on top of that. If ransomware was involved, the attacker will demand payment to unlock your files. Ransom demands for small businesses typically range from $50,000 to $300,000. And here is the part most people do not know. Paying the ransom does not guarantee you get your files back. About 20% of businesses that pay a ransom never recover their data. Another significant percentage gets hit again within a year because paying demonstrated they were willing to pay. Cyber insurance sometimes covers ransom payments, but many policies have conditions and exclusions that businesses discover only after the breach. We will talk more about cyber insurance in a future video. For now, just understand that it is not a guarantee. This is the number that surprises business owners the most. The average small business downtime following a breach is 21 days. 21 days where you cannot fully serve clients, bill for work, or operate normally. Think about what 21 days of reduced or zero revenue means for your business. For a firm billing $50,000 a month, that is over $30,000 in lost revenue before you account for anything else. For a business operating on thin margins, 21 days can be the difference between surviving and closing. This is the cost that does not appear on any invoice, but it is often the one that does the most permanent damage. When a breach becomes public, and most breaches do become public, clients have to decide whether they still trust you with their information. Some will stay, many will not. For a professional service business, your entire value proposition is built on trust. A CPA firm that loses client data, a law firm whose case files are exposed, a healthcare office with a HIPAA violation. These are not events you recover from quickly. Some businesses never recover from them at all. I mentioned this at the start, but I want to come back to it. 60% of small businesses that experience a significant cyber attack close within 6 months. I have been in this industry for 17 years. I have seen this happen, and every single time the business owner had thought about cybersecurity at some point, they just kept putting it off because there was always something more urgent: a client to serve, a project to finish, a team to manage. I understand that completely. I run a business too. But here's what I want you to understand. The $200,000 is not just money. For most small businesses, it is the business. It is everything you built: the relationships, the reputation, the years of work. This is not a warning. It is a fact. And facts are useful because they help you make better decisions. I want to show you the math on this, not to make a sales pitch, just to make the decision clear. Red Door Shield is priced for small businesses, not enterprise software pricing, not a six-figure retainer. For a company your size, a complete security program costs a fraction of what a single breach would. Protection, compliance monitoring, 24/7 response, all of it. The exact number depends on your setup, which is exactly what the free assessment is for. But I can tell you this: every business owner who has gone through it has told me the same thing. The math made the decision easy. The average cost of a breach is $200,000, and that is only comparing the financial numbers. It does not factor in the 60% of businesses that close, or the reputation that takes years to rebuild, or the clients you lose and never get back. I am not telling you Red Door Shield is for every business. I am telling you the math is worth understanding before you make the decision to wait. Here's what I want you to do with everything I just shared. I want you to have one honest conversation about where your business actually stands. Not a decision to buy anything, not a commitment to change everything overnight. Just one conversation where someone with 17 years of experience looks at your setup and tells you the truth. That is what the free business security assessment is. We look at your current protection. We identify your gaps. We give you a clear picture of your actual risk level, and then you decide what to do with that information. That is your call, not ours. Most business owners who go through it tell me the same thing afterward. They say they are glad they did it, and they wish they had done it sooner, because knowing is always better than hoping. That is the $200,000 mistake, not a decision made by a bad person or a careless business owner. A decision made by someone who kept putting off a conversation they should have had sooner. I do not want that to be your story. Next week, we are going to start getting specific about the industries that are most targeted and why. If you are in professional services, healthcare, construction, or property management, next week's content is going to be directly relevant to your business. Book your free assessment. The link is in the description. Subscribe so you do not miss the next video. And share this one with a business owner in your network who needs to hear it. Because the best thing you can do with this information is make sure someone else does not have to learn it the hard way. This is...
Stop hoping. Start knowing.